pistols to try and make the best of the situation, which could be pretty damn messy.
From what I understand, we're actually on mute the entire time.
I mean,
Oops.
I don't want to say thanks. I'm not really sure what to respond to that. Like, I mean, what are you saying in that scenario? I don't know. I hear myself twice or 4 times anyway. So
yeah, we've got a bit of an awful setup at the moment. It's probably off.
Wait, you're telling me no one heard my memes about Smooth's pink shorts?
Yes.
Now I'm just disappointed.
I'm so sorry, Flakes. That's my fault. I'm not good at production. I thought I had this down. Apparently I haven't.
You're fired.
Yeah. Eco round for CEX. A force by coming through on the 2 scouts on Thomas and Rezu, as they will get the utility out towards the B side. They seem to like this B side quite a lot. But that being said, it's actually going to be a fate this time. But look at Cinder's position. He's going to be able to pick up one. He's got the AK in the backstab. Takes down Weber. As well as that, Rezu comes in. Takes down Jacob. Cryptic's going to finally find one. But the scouts, they're on point today. And Cryptic's, he's lost it all. It's all down to a 1 on 4. And while it is a better weapon in comparison, but the Deagle is just enough to shut him down, and it will be CEX pulling back the eco, pulling back their 3rd round, and as well as that, they've recovered 3 AKs for the next round.
Not only that, you kind of brush aside CX and their economy, brush aside where they stand in this matchup, the fact they're on that lesser side of the scoreboard and they're trying to build back into things. Look at CAZ, look at their economy. Completely crushed by that eco reset. It's so painful. Really going to be licking their wounds off this one. Deagles are just not really what you want to be looking for in this scenario, but it's all they can afford. See if they can get themselves a couple of headshots. Of course, CX, ideal well for them, keep it clean. So we're just going to hold the angles, looking for a couple. Finds one on towards Cryptix, but actually not going down to 11 HP, and not a pretty number at all for a player such as himself to be sitting upon.
No, and Smoothia will just be very tagged up in this case. It's still a 5 on 4, but it's a very easy even Steven scoreline if the T side can manage to find that frag. It's only 11 HP. It's only going to take 1 bullet from any weapon at this point. And considering that the T side are on economy, ultimately that doesn't matter. Deagles are pretty much what they have to work with at the moment, and they'll be taking those long range fights with that. But so far CEX, they're doing a good job of just keeping them off their backs. But eventually the execution will have to come in from CAZ in the end. There's 3 players stacked up, 4th bomb on his way back, so it looks like it's going to be another B site here, which so far has been fairly successful for CAZ. Whenever they've tried to hit the A site, it's not worked out very well, so they're going to try this one more time, and Jacob going to start things off nicely, takes down Thomas, and Smooth is going to get himself a nice double. He's got his positioning on point, looking for the 3rd, onto Jacob, takes down the headshot. MCK's got to go for the bomb plant, but Cinder has his positioning just as good, and they will even the score up to 4-4. CEX doing well.
I'm a happy man, but it was just pistols, so I don't want to get too excited. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But let's see, with this even Steven scenario now, the 4-4, can CAZ do anything? But unfortunately, yet again, side blinded by the economy. CAZ just unable to really play the stock market to where they want it to head. Can't quite predict the future. Just back in action with these Deagles. Brody straight through the smoke on towards Jacob. A disappointing touch. They are going to be diving through Ivy, looking to get themselves a couple of cracking headshots here and there. A bomb plant in a perfect world, but they are just getting completely sprayed down. 1 frag, make that 2. And 2, to be honest, from a T side is kind of enough. It's damage to be inflicted. But when you're CX, when you're building up $8,400 or so on players like Smoothie, you've got $7,950 post-buy on Rezu, you're not complaining.
Yeah, and right now the pause coming out. I'm not 100% sure on what specifically this is. Looks like we'll have to try and find out here.
I mean, we're gonna tap the chat and have a look. That's what we're gonna do.
And the chat says nothing.
I mean,
because the exec has not been set up to look at it.
I mean, we don't need no chat. What we're gonna do? We're gonna slide on over here, and okay, actually, screw that. We're gonna ask the question. What do you think it is? If you think it's tactical, what would you do? Let's talk about that.
I mean, if it's a tactical pause, I mean, honestly, for me, it's quite early. I mean, so far these guys have been sticking to each other. If it was a tactical pause from, I'd assume it would be the CAZ side because they're on the back foot. I would guess that their strategy would just be to try and see how they can break CEX. They need to be able to find a way to shut them down, because even in those eco rounds, CEX seem to be able to come on top just slightly more. But so far, it's been an even matchup so far. So I don't think that anyone's too fussed about that. Freeze time will be cancelled, and we will see the buy-ups coming on through. Full AKs for the T side, and they will buy on in full. There's going to be very little money left on them after the buy. A UMP on Smoothia as well for CEX, 3 AKs and the M4 to boot.
Do have to interject and let you know that I'd love to tell you what the chat says, but Microsoft DirectX or Windows has something else to say.
Memecast.
The flash, they're going to be going in towards Ivy. Rezu just pushing on through, nice and aggressive. Already finds himself one straight on towards Weber. Looking out for a second as MCK tries to force the hand. He's trying to find the trade, but it's all but a waste. Unable to achieve. Insomnia back on the aggressive front with the SMG now, and the value from him doing this is just so damn huge because he can actually make himself some sweet money. But not only that, they don't drop off a rifle.
Indeed, a 4 versus 5 situation, and CEX do take the advantage. Smooth's aggressive playstyle could have turned that even better, but of course he's a pretty ballsy man to go that far into the up into the heaven area. So I mean, I've got to give him credit for that as much as it stands. He's been able to push them back away from that area. He's holding down that angle, if we can see over here, right there. He might actually be able to pick up MCK, and he will. And that's just such good play, such good positional awareness from Smoothia. Manages to turn it back into a 3-on-5, and so far CAZ, they're unable to trade. They're unable to respond.
I think the biggest thing about Smooth for me is you have to bear in mind his investment in this round is a UMP, a USP, no Kevlar. That's so huge for CX, even when they have so much money. So for them to use them as a pawn in their overall game plan, great work from them. Now we have to see a sort of response, which is a quick push from Ivy. But again, the trades. This is what allows the T-sides to try and almost have an opportunity to claw back ahead, but at the same time fall behind. It's a very slippery slope that always ends in one direction. And usually a CT side, they break out with one, and from there, the trades, they start becoming something you just can't quite work with.
Indeed, and as a result, CEX, it will be the Tech 9 buy-ups, and not much more than that. A couple of forces on Weber Cryptics. MCK is going to be able to get himself some armor as well, but it looks like it's going to be another round on the board for CEX, especially if CAZ can't really play these pistols too well. They've got to see if they can try and catch them off guard in this case, because they have got the full rifles. No AWP out so far. I'm actually fairly surprised at that. CX have been very reluctant to be using this AWP during this matchup so far. But as we do say, it looks like it's going to be the execution straight on towards the A site. Very quick and very fast from these Tech 9s. They're going to try and get up into their faces, and you can see Razor's going to be able to make it work as a nice double kill comes in. Thomas gets one more as well. The bomb has been planted, so I think that's what ultimately they were looking for. As MCK going to see what he can find and gets traded out pretty quickly, leaving Weber all alone, 1 versus 4. Gets sprayed down, and CX will take man number 7.
MCK apparently a bit of a jack-in-a-box. I do think from CX's perspective there is a reason not to bring out the AWPs, and it's a nice and simple one. You talk about the fact that sometimes we have these sayings and we just kind of we stand by those. Well, there is one saying we have, which is if if it's working, don't try and fix something. Like at the end of the day, if it's working, just let it continue. Now they're starting to struggle somewhat, so they bring it into play. They've got it on Rezu. We'll also know that the T-side finally have enough economy to get one of their own, which is yet again also prompting the response from Rezu. So from there we have this nice head-on-hand battle, Jakem versus Rezu. Who's going to find the pick? Who's actually going to bring something interesting to the round in terms of those longer range battles? But then you have to throw in those rifles as well, because arguably those rifles have played a much bigger part of the series as Brody starts off strong.
And it looks like Cinder's going to be able to follow it up as well. Weber goes falling, and so far the positioning from the T side ends up very awful for them, as Rezu picks up one. At the very least he's able to trade it out, but it is a 4-on-2 situation that favours CEX, and as Jacob goes falling, it looks like they're going to be able to take the half here. Cryptics now last man alive, and that is going to have to be holding down that towards CT spawn, hopefully to try and pick up some kills. But look, they know his position. They're just going to start closing in, and at this point it just seems just a case of exit frags and potentially going down, potentially saving that AK, and potentially, just potential at this point, but no potential to win the round as he picks up one and Smoothia shuts him down. 8-4 CEX win half number 1.
A happy side for CEX, really starting to pull ahead on train. Has to be said, I'm kind of waiting for that age of reckoning, I think, when I look at this scoreboard, because we're seeing what, 4, 5, 6 or so in a row. Really is sort of perfect stuff from them. Kind of want to see just CAZ wake up somewhat. It really is kind of the meat of the situation. We need to see when they push, they play together, they play as a unit. Enough of these single base plays where they're relying on players like Weber to pop out and find a pick here and there, or MCK, we saw him on train, that sit tight in the smoke. That's all well and good, but what does it change?
Yeah, this definitely isn't the same CAZ we saw play U-Frag over on the main stage yesterday. I mean, this team just does not seem to be in the same sort of form that we've seen before. So there's certainly a lot of work to be done in terms of their team format. They're definitely not playing together. So once they get that, I think the CEX might have a decent chance. But even so, CEX, they're playing some ridiculous angles. Does Cryptics really expect this to be the case? Oh, he does. He manages to pick up Cinder. But even so, how many CTs push up towards A main?
That was kind of read like a book. That's what I got from that, really. Certainly not something you expect to see every single day, but either way, We are just going to be waiting as the clock runs on down. 50 seconds on the clock. NAW still in the hands of Rezu, bear in mind. Waiting to see if he can do something from a much longer range position. The smoke going to go down over towards Ivy and just relaxing somewhat.
Yeah, 4 versus 5. Cryptix has taken a bit of damage on this case. But other than that, CEX actually going to come off on the... they're going to come off on the top foot here. So you actually see another trade coming on through. Jacob gets Thomas, nicely done. 3 versus 5 situation. So actually it looks like CAZ might end up responding to exactly what we were just saying and end up playing like a team comp. Bomb gets planted. Brody's able to get 1, but a bomb's gone down behind him. It's a 4 versus 3 retake in favour of the T side. And you can see that they pretty much locked this one down.
Yeah, happy days for them at the moment as Cryptix is just going to pitch his tent on the site and wait nice and patiently. Jacob, a similar position as he catches the head of Smooya. Next in line will be Rody C. Rezu. As these two find themselves 1 on the way out, but doesn't quite change the pace of things, and that is the response we were looking for. That is CAZ now back on the table. Let's take 1, and let's turn 1 into 2, and from there, start to string things together. It's a bit late, but better late than never.
Yeah, well, they have got some potential here. I mean, if they can beat CEX in this round, then that could be some serious economy broken. You can see that it's a little bit imbalanced. They got at worst $400 and at best $3,700. So this could be a good potential for the T side to at least make try and get as close to 87 as they can in this half. But so far they haven't started off well, as it would be the AWP on Rezu picking up one of the T side players. It's a 4 versus 5 situation, and now their plan has to be rethought.
He's got to be spotted the leg, or should we say the arm, the wrist, the skin. It's all but given up. Rezu, he gets himself to pick on towards Jakem, and from there, well, it's all but ticking on down for a CT side. There's Weber, Cryptix, and MCK there, the last 3 remaining. And you could call them the 3 Musketeers, or the 3 guys sitting idly by, ready to barrage their way out on towards the B site. And no matter what you call them, there's only one direction they're heading, and it's just a pretty much uncomfortable spot of death as they walk into CEX. The picks yet again being found. There's Cryptix, well, the 3 Musketeers. Now the 1 Musketeer? I don't know anymore. He's kind of just trying to make the best of the situation. Bomb plant, not complaining, of course, but it doesn't really change it. Nonetheless, it's a 10-5 practically, because you look at their economy, it's going to be a tough one for the T side to fight. The bomb plant have a huge effect overall, but we're still looking at what will be probably 2 to 3 rifles and then some tech lines. Yeah,
it's not going to be a very good end of the half for them. Yeah, like you said, like 2-3 Tech 9s, a couple of AKs that they can work with, but at this point they've really got to make the aggression work out for them, because otherwise CEX will take 10 to 5, and that's a very good CT half to have. And as a T side, I mean, personally I'd like to see like things get a little bit more closer. Obviously it can't always be that way, but for CAZ, excuse me, it could end up really hurting their morale at the same time. Cryptix going to get some aggression over towards the upper area of B. The grenade also tags down Rezu as the scout goes picking and picks up Smooya. Nice start from CAZ. The question is, can they follow it up, or can CEX trade out?
So CAZ right now, they're pretty much approaching this with, you use the phrase picking, this is them quite literally cherry picking their way through the map, right? They're looking for these angles, clearing out bit by bit, getting some information as well in terms of what was on the A site, and they've decided, okay, we've picked up on a couple of things, let's head towards B, but the problem with that decision is the information they had, it's somewhat misgathered. And off the back of that misfire, if they actually bite the bullet and go, well, they could potentially be pushing into a 3-man stack onto the site, which is actually just rotated off. Just as we even go into that, we start to see things change from CX. They're kind of having some second thoughts on how they want to approach their own CT side, and CAZ may come into their own.
Look at this, Brody Speed spotting out like the tiniest of angles, just the tiniest pixel, managing to get some tag damage onto MCK. It's still a 4-on-5, and Brody Speed is going to turn that right around as he gets himself a double, and one more coming in. Cinder gets one back. It's a 2 versus 3 situation. Cryptix is on the flank, takes down the 1 on top of the bomb train. It's 2-on-2, 1 HP on Rezu. It's going to be a very hard retake for CEX, as it looks like CAZ might just be able to do it. Cryptix is down a little bit, Jacob's down a little bit as well. But ultimately, this is all going to run on Thomas to see if they could try and make this retake work. And as Cryptix gets Rezu, it's a 1 versus 2. M4 in the hands. He's creeping himself up slowly. He's got to try and find the first one. Looks to find it. Oh my god, the perfect smoke from Jacob. That could work out so well. But look at this. He's on the good read as well. And he thinks, well, on out. Thomas with the godlike play. 2-on-1. Manages to win it out. And just about gets himself a defuse. 10 to 5 half in favour of CEX.
People be like, Thomas, now he's not improving. He's not showing any better signs. He's not really pushing himself to get better at the game, get his reads on point. I've been saying all of the UK Masters season at the start, he was a player that I would say was very still rough around the edges, but he is improving, and that right there is a prime example, a great clutch coming from him, and one that does hold a whole lot of impact.
Indeed, and it will end up working out extremely well for them. CeX 10-5, they are rolling on up, as we will see the buys coming in for the second half pistol round, and Cinder's actually taking a raid boss into this one. We don't see this a whole lot excuse me, we don't see this a whole lot.
I mean, we'll roll all the R's and we'll get there eventually, right? That's the game plan.
Oh, Christ. It's going to be the B-site push coming in from CeX. They're setting themselves up. They've got a smoke to work with, which can block off some vision. But ultimately, it's all going to come down to this push here. And, well, CAZ holding down very standard angles. There comes the smoke. Jacob is going to be shut out for this one, but he will tap his way on through, seeing if he can find anything. But that Tech 9 is going to be so crucial for CeX here.
It certainly is something that could change things up a bit. A mixing bowl, so to speak, as Weber. Oh my god, gets himself back-to-back one-steps. Thomas and Smooya deleted straight off the bat. Nothing for them to be complaining about, of course, though, as the fight is still coming on from the CT side. And the rest of them, they all combine. They all slap their way through. CeX, oh, good night, sweet dreams. Your pistol round is gone.
That was a total wipeout. Like, good God Almighty.
I heard they were a hit TV show.
Seriously though, that was insane. Weber with a 3k at the end of that one. 2 nice headshots, beautifully done. That was just insane, and that will give CAZ at least an avenue back into this one. They will win the pistol 6-10, potentially 8-10, assuming CeX don't manage to pull off the upset. But we have seen that once this match already, so we will see. That was the start. Yeah, we saw it. Sadly, the stream didn't. But we will see the force buy, or not the force buy, the quasi coming out from CeX. After all, they did get that bomb plant, but it's just going to be running straight in towards this A site and easy getting cleaned up by the CT side. Resi does get one back, but he's going to be the last man alive. 1 versus 4. It looks like CAZ will take their 7th, and CeX will be up for the buy in the next round.
I have a question for you. And there is a reason I want to go into this. A lot of people don't necessarily put too much emphasis on anti-ecos and such, so off the back of that I want to almost change fate and go into it a little bit. What was the one thing that decided this round in the first 10 seconds or so?
That's a good question, actually. I don't know.
Utility, because what we saw from the CT side was nades, Molotovs, pretty much across the board. It was good investment and good usage from the CTs, which means that when you rewind back the round, look, we watch it on the stream, you can see it get thrown out, which is effectively 50, 60 damage per player getting knocked off the back of those frag grenades and such. Pretty much meaning that there's just no chance for CeX to get anything done. They have no HP.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point as well, but at the same time, I don't think CeX are too fussed about losing this eco round, because at the end of the day, they're just looking to get themselves. They've got their bomb plant. They just want to get over to the round where they can use these rifles, which you can see that they've fully invested into. And I think really that's their main priority at this point. I don't think they mind so much, but you do bring up a good point about those frag grenades. As you can see, Cryptix is already getting one out, and that might just be able to do some damage. It will do some onto Rezu. So they will set themselves up. It looks like it's going to be A execution. 2 players in Pop Dog, 2 players in main. 1 also watching a rotation and backstab. As Cinder gets MCK, they start off the round nicely, and Rezu spots out 1 over towards the top of the train.
Not only does he get MCK, but yeah, the information yet again that he's able to find Rezu. He's hitting shots as he takes down Jacob, now looking for just a little bit more, as Cryptix seemingly on the chopping block, raring to almost just let it happen. Smooya, well, right behind you, there's not much you can do in that scenario. Cryptix is like, wait, what? You're there? How did you get there? He's still making it work with the SMG though, but right, a 3k coming in from him. My throat is apparently absolutely wrecked though. Cinder gonna find one back in return. Weber, of course, over in connector. But a 1v2, it's not a position that works, but you have to give it to Cryptix. A 3k from him.
That could have been something absolutely beautiful. I saw it coming. I just saw like the comeback just coming to approach us, but it didn't end up happening. Instead, CeX picked their 11th, and CAZ, after a beautiful pistol, a great start to the second half, it's not gonna go too well for them. And CeX, they're gonna put them force back to an eco, and they're gonna have to try and force their way into this one. Deagle's coming out, P250s, a scout on Cryptix, but other than that, they have not got a whole lot to work with in here.
Yeah, it's almost just as bad as my screeching throat at this point. It's sad, it's dry, and it needs a whole lot of water, because right now it is a broken mess.
Yeah, but that's all your fault.
Yeah, true, I'll give you that one. Cinder gonna find one of his own. Thomas, a second on towards Jacob. Cryptix, a nice one with a scout though, and you actually referring back to those pistols and the utility usage going into buy rounds as well, and kind of wrapping it up in a nice little delivered parcel. it's all about value. Everything in Counter-Strike is about getting value from something. Whether it's a player in a 1v2, you're kind of looking to go, okay, how can I be valuable to my other teammate in this scenario, play with him? Or, okay, you're talking about utility. How can I actually add value to what I've invested into this round? What can I do early damage? Just if I can tag Rezu down at the start of every round in Connector with a frag grenade to 60 HP, that's good value for a CT side. Minimal investment, huge reward.
You know, we will see a full investment coming out on this round here. As, well, the Eco was last. This is going to be the full buy, despite the force buy coming out from the CTs. They will have the full M4s to work with. And meanwhile, CEX still rocking the 4 AKs. As well as that, Smoothie seems to be liking the UMP, but so far I'm not too fussed with that because they have made it work very, very well as the execution does come in. MCK spots out one, Cryptix takes down another, and it's just going to be the shutdown coming in from CAZ as Smoothie take down a 10 HP, trying to spray, but he can't find Cryptix, tags him up, but can't find anything more than that. Cinder's coming in from the back, but MCK with the good read now leaves Smoothie in a 1 versus 5, and it will just be the tap down to bring himself a 4K and the 8th round in favour of CAZ.
What you did right there was pretty much whip out the Caster's Curse and just apply it straight off the bat. The minute you start judging the UMP, even if you're in agreement, CeX, they just get completely bewildered as they try and make a push. But what's very important to remember is we have to ground ourselves in scenarios such as this, because CeX, they're not just going to roll over and die. They have a whole lot of economy built on through, so they're going to go back on the buy. Thomas, he does take the hit in regards to a tech line, but they still have an AWP on Rezu, they still have 3 rifles, they still have a lot of utility to invest. Ultimately, it's still a round that they can win. Of course, you have to argue it from the CT side. The comeback, it's not necessarily a comeback in itself. I think that's an unfair word to use, because 12-8, it is a close scoreline. The biggest thing to think about CAZ at this point is consistency. They've been struggling to actually get rounds together, and if you're not stringing things together, then at a 12-8 scoreline, you just don't have the rounds to play with to close it out. Yeah. Especially on a CT side of train as well.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, we were expressing our concerns about the CT side for CAZ, and it looks like they haven't been able to take advantage of it. Meanwhile, CEX, they're storm rolling their way on through, and it looks like it's going to be another A execute. It's worked out for them well so far. It's going to work out one more time, it looks like, as Cinder's trying to see if he can spot out MCK, and will take him down first pick in favour of CEX. And now CAZ are a little bit broken. They have got a 3-1 split on towards A and B. But CEX, after taking that first pick, they've gone for the play to go ahead and just back off instead, and just to leave CAZ guessing. As a result, you can see players are scrambling. They think it's going to be an A hit. There's going to be one player rotating around towards the back of the trains. Smooth's picked up Cryptix, and now CEX, they're in such a great position in a 5-on-3.
Jacob, the man to be the pillar on the side, backed up, but where of course this crossfire could be absolutely perfect with him, providing they can land all the shots, and so far so good. Way about a 2K for him, aided of course by the assistment.
No!
Cinder, oh, not like this. Finally comes things back though, looking for a second, needs to shut this down. There is the crossfire deleted, and there is the site. CeX finally have an opportunity, but no, the timing, it gives an opportunity over to the side of the CTs. Look at that, 6 seconds. Rezu needs to plant, but a skin of his teeth is going to get away with it. 1v2 still going to be possible, and Rezu, he is dancing a pretty risky one at this point.
Yeah, looking for that AWP shot onto Adam. 2 versus 1, but look at this, he's gone completely around everybody. I think Smoothie might be able to spot him out with the information given, but that could have been such a good creep if he managed to find that kill right there. Instead, it will just be 13 points for CEX, and CAZ, they are looking pretty broken, because look at the economy. It's going to have to be a completely duped by, if not an eco. It looks like it will be a straight up force coming out, the FAMASs and all, which means it's going to put him in a very bad round. It's going to put him in a very bad stead if CEX managed to win this one, because that could end up meaning map point, and that could mean CAZ having to go to second map and potentially being knocked out here at I-59.
Well, this is where we talk about that whole struggle of not being able to string things together now, because CAZ, with no economy, you do get these kind of botched up buys of UMPs and rifles and such. Now, in fairness, I think this force is smart from them. They've got 3 rifles, that's the core of the team. But we stressed so hard earlier on about value. Well, they've got no utility. They don't really have a very clear and concise game plan. It's just, okay, we're going to sit tight, we're going to try and almost counter their aggression, but that's not really a plan. That's just waiting for the push from CeX, and the minute they do wait, they find themselves caught off guard. So I kind of want to lean towards a calculated aggression. It's very, very tough on Train, don't get me wrong, because Train is one of those maps where you don't necessarily have too much to do in that regard. But I do think there's an opportunity for CeX to be taken advantage of when they are just sat and waiting on their side of things. Bear in mind, we're at 55 seconds or so. CeX, they still haven't even begun to formulate their push.
Well, that being said, it looks like they are going to go ahead and try for it anyway, but I do agree actually it's a little bit of an awkward formation to be pushing on through. They will end up finding the first pick anyway. Thomas be able to get MCK 4 on 5 now. But ultimately, they have got some breathing room. They have got some sloppy room because you can see that, well, it's not the best buy on the CT side, and they're still picking up these kills anyway. 4-on-2 situation. That grenade, it's not good. I thought it was going to go land onto Cinder, but instead it's not going to happen. It will be a 4-on-2 still. CEX have got the bomb down, and CAZ are so slow to push on through to this retake. Weber, and it will be Adam XO to get one actually back, but Brody finally with a headshot will take him out before he can do anything more. Weber now, last man alive, 1 versus 2, trying to get the smoke out, trying to prompt them out to peek, and I think actually going to be able to get the kill onto Brody. See, it's so close. He's tagged up so hard, but there's no defuse kit, and I think he realizes at this point that this round may be too far gone, and CEX may have just taken 14. Not to mention, they may have just taken match point, as this probably is going to end up being an eco for the CT boys.
Great work coming out from the side of CEX. I think, looking at that round, I'm kind of looking towards Pop Dog right now and going, okay, that singular position being, I'm not quite sure who was sitting there, but just holding close left kind of really sums up everything I was explaining when it came down to actually waiting for that push and then just being caught completely off guard. Now, whether counter-hit aggression is the go-to for CAZ to change things up, or whether there is more to it, you know, I'm sure there is more to it by all means. But the whole gist of the situation really is there just needs to be something different instead of them just waiting, which same sort of regard for Weber. He's up close and personal though, which is better, but whether he can actually do the work, well, a bit of a different one as he finds himself only that double kill is finally going to be traded out by Rezu. The angles are held and pistols beginning to be knocked on down. It is a 3v3 and the bomb is down.
See, the sad thing about that is that Weber did so well to get that 2k, but his team have just thrown it away by holding bad angles and giving away bad information. They just ran straight up Pop Dog. They ran straight into Smooya. Sorry, they ran straight into Rezu. No, sorry, it's Brody. My mistake. I can't even pay attention.
They ran straight into a player.
They ran straight into a player up towards the top, and they just threw it away. And as a result, you can see that match point is called. And sadly, we still have a Go TV issue.